So let me introduce you to your new digital companion. A couple of weeks ago, you would have seen me unboxing this device. This right here is a Futuco Palbook laptop. It's a South African engineered laptop that focuses on performance and deliverance over price. But the price isn't too bad as well. So, like how I mentioned, this is a sleek, budget-friendly laptop that focuses on efficiency and minimalism. Let's quickly go through some of the specs. So this is rocking an Intel N95 processor, which is a 4-core, 4-thread processor that has a base clock of 1.7 gigahertz and can be clocked at a turbo speed of up to 3.4 gigahertz. In terms of RAM, this is built in with 12 gigs of LPDDR5 memory. And in terms of graphics, this is rocking the Intel UHD graphics, the XE750. In terms of storage, this is running a 256 SSD M.2, right? And on the note of storage, underneath the device, there's a dedicated panel for you to open should you like to upgrade your M.2 SSD. So when we unboxed the laptop, we spoke about the design and everything else, but it's a modern design with a matte finish that emphasizes portability. It has dimensions of 358 by 233 by 16 millimeters. In terms of the weight of this device, it's not the lightest, but this is a 1.64 kg device that's a little lightweight, but it's suitable for travel and on-the-go productivity. In terms of the screen, this is a 15.6-inch Full HD IPS display that has a resolution of 1920 by 1080. The Futuco Palbook is powered by a 6000 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery, and it is charged by a 65 watt Type-C power adapter. On that note, what are some of the ports that are built in? It has a Type-C that's dedicated solely to charging. It has two USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports. It has one USB Type-C that supports power and data. It has a USB 2.0 Type A port, as well as it has an HDMI port and a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and a micro SD card slot with security Kensington lock slot for security. So in terms of connectivity, this is running Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. When it comes to the keyboard is an ergonomic backlit keyboard that has 3 brightness levels, and it's comfortable with an even amount of key travel. The comfortability and the keys are very soft to the touch. In terms of operating system, this is running Windows 11 Home, and with the trackpad for our amazing keyboard, it's a very large trackpad. It has a dedicated fingerprint reader built in. Now, let's talk about some of the commonly asked questions with the Futuco Palbook. The first is with regards to the N95 processor. So the N95 processor isn't something that you generally hear of, especially in the South African market. So the N95 processor is a processor in the N95 range, right? And you get the N100 and all of those things. It's almost a step above your Celeron processors. And contrary to popular belief, this N95 processor is actually Copilot ready. So you can use Copilot, the free version, with this device. The N95 processor is comparable to the likes of the Intel i5 1140G7 processor, as well as it's also comparable to the Intel Core i3 1115G4. So I've used this device for the last 2 weeks or so, and I've put it through its paces, right? I've put it through productivity work and all of those things. And with the CPU, it's much better than a Celeron, I can tell you that much. It's not like it's an i9 or something where you can just be, you can be playing AAA titles and all of those things. So it gets the work done, and this device the processor as well. Sometimes when you try and just, because I'll be honest, I did try and overload it and see what the tipping point was. So when you do hit it with a lot of things, it takes a second, but then everything just and it pushes through it, right? And on that note, even though it's pushing through it, it's not like the fans start, spinning up and everything like that. The other thing we can talk about is RAM. So the RAM, it comes with 12 gigs of DDR5 memory. So generally you see things like 4 gigs, 8 gigs. So this comes with 12 gigs, and it's 12 gigs of DDR5 memory, and it's soldered to the board, so you know what, you have faster travel or faster communication between the CPU and the memory, right? So that's another thing that helps this laptop be as efficient as it is without costing an arm and a leg. Another thing that I'd like to talk about with this laptop is in terms of Windows, right? So this, like how we said, is running Windows 11, but it's running a clean version of Windows 11. Not like in a druggy sense or anything like that. But what we mean is, so you see, generally when brands and stuff try and set up these agreements with Windows, there are other add-on applications and stuff that are installed with Windows on your brand new device. With the Futuco Palbook, it's actually just a blank installation of Windows. There's no bloatware or anything like that. So I found that also very, very cool. A little side note, when we were talking about iOS, I said there's a dedicated port for charging and then a dedicated Type-C. What we should take away from that is the fact that they didn't say, right, you get one Type-C, it's for charging, like to cut costs or anything like that. You get one that's dedicated to charging. So even if you're charging, you're not losing out on a port. And I thought that was very, very cool. So on that note, let's talk about who this laptop is suited for. So the laptop is ideally suited for students, professionals who aren't doing, intensive work, and obviously casual users looking for a reliable, cost-effective device. But also on that note, right, we've seen people do gaming on this. I mean, one of the fellow influencers who's gotten his hand on this laptop actually did some light gaming, and he said it performed amazingly. I haven't really gotten a chance to game on it, but I've watched my movies, I've done some Excel work on it, and everything is awesome, everything's cool. So as much as we're saying it's for students, we are seeing people coding and people who are playing games and gaming on these devices. So it's not just them. Now, let's talk about the retail price. This device retails for 6,999 rands, but currently on the Futuco website, it is retailing for 6,299 rands, right? You can pick it up there, and here's the best bit. If you purchase it from the Futuco website, there's free delivery across South Africa. The device comes with 18 months warranty, and you can register for an additional 6 months, making it a full 24 months worth of warranty coming with the Futuco Palbook. So in my time with the laptop, let's discuss some of the pros and some of the cons. Some of the pros, right? Firstly, it's lightweight and great to move around with. It's not absolutely lightweight, but it's just there where it's easy to move with. It's great for everyday tasks, whether you're on the go, whether you're watching Netflix, whether you're dealing with your spreadsheets, whether you're doing some light homework, whatever. This is perfectly suited for you. In terms of the cons, obviously in terms of the processor, there is limited performance on it. And the limited performance is not to say, you can't do anything. You can do light gaming, that sort of thing, but don't expect, the best of frame rates or anything like that if you're playing AAA titles, right? You can try your best. That's it. So yeah, guys, I have really, really enjoyed testing out and using this laptop. And this laptop, whether it's from the design, whether it's from its approach, it has a very consumer-centric way of approaching this device, right? It's very consumer-orientated. And with that note, I 100% take my hat off to Futuco, because being a South African brand that has engineered this laptop and brought it into our markets at this amazing standpoint. I've had a chat with the director of Futuco, and they have some plans for the brand as well as for the laptops they're bringing in. They have seen awesome reviews and people who, as exactly like what I'm saying, there's people that these laptops are meant to be for students and for lightweight, but there are people that are buying these laptops and gaming on it and programming on it and leaving their reviews and saying, hey, you know what, we're having a pretty decent experience with this. So they have plans for this, as well as maybe introducing some other models and variants of the Palbook. So I'm very, very excited for them as a brand. On that note, I would like to thank Molecule Technologies for sponsoring this video. Molecule Technologies is the parent company of Futuco. But guys, thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions regarding the Futuco Palbook, you can leave them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving a like rating if you did. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss on any of our future videos. If you want to purchase your very own Palbook, there is a link in the description below. But guys, my name is Preshaan. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.